Today we're looking at the entire history of Blox Fruit, going all the way from update 1 to update 24. With update 24, Dragon Rework, Divine Art Fighting Style coming really soon, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to look at every single thing that's changed in Blox Fruit so far and everything that's about to change in the future. And by the end of this video, I will reveal to you guys what my favorite Blox Fruits update was. Let's jump into it with update 1. Fun fact, upon release, the game was actually called Blox Peas and the fruits are called Demon Fruit. So the game originally released with these 12 fruits, the weakest being the bomb and the strongest being the Buddha, and the level cap at the time was only 300. In case you were curious, here's what the fruits actually look like. They were literal Blox fruits. I guess that's where the name eventually came from. Going from the left to right, you have the bomb, spike, chop, smoke, rubber, flame, ice, dark, light, magma, quake, and the Buddha. They pretty much all look identical, just with some different stems and colors. Yeah, I don't know what happened to my bomb fruit here. Maybe it blew up into pieces. What the hell? It also released with a bunch of swords, a couple of accessories and guns, and one additional obtainable fighting style, which is called Dark Step. Back in the day, it was actually Black Leg. Here you can see the YouTuber MeEnyu who hopped on update 1 with my game 43 himself. The money used to be called berries, and the leaderboard used to look different there on the top right. So here you can see, as I said, they were called Demon Fruits, and the names are actually repeated, just like back in One Piece. Looks like you could have purchased every single fruit and there was no stock. So here's gonna showcase to us the original Yoru. The model actually looked very much like the One Piece Yoru back in the day. And of course, when you kill an NPC, they would just scatter. They would just fall apart like Lego blocks. And here's a quick look of what the dark fruit as well as the ice fruit both look like back in the day. I mean, obviously, they're pretty outdated, but hey, they look pretty good back in the day, I'm sure. And guys, as we continue on with this video, be sure to comment down below on what your favorite update was. Now, moving on to update number 2 came the legendary Phoenix and the spring fruit for some reason. I don't know why they came at the same time. So this is what it's supposed to look like. He's showing off the old pre-revamped Phoenix moves. So yeah, you can go with the hybrid flight, the fast kicks, and of course the pre-revamped Phoenix model. Looked very, very stiff. And in case you were curious, all the skills looks exactly the same as it does today. 5 years later, I'm not playing. So along with the 2 new fruits came a brand new level cap, which was 500, and also the Electro fighting style. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It was called Electro. I mean, you unlock it the same way as you do now. Now, update 3 got 2 brand new legendaries, 2 of my favorite fruits, the string and the rumble. Here you guys can take a look, the original string and the rumble models. God, I missed them so much. So here are just some clips of Axior using the original string moves, Z, the original flight, Spider-Man. Honestly, this one's probably better than the one we have now. That was the X move. There's the C move, the skill with the longest range ever, and of course the V move, the Goth Thread. There also came a couple new islands, the Underwater City, Skypiea, and the Colosseum. But the coolest thing that dropped in this update was actually the ability to unlock Observation Haki for the first time. It is the same location, but the dude's name before Lord of Destruction was actually Usopp. All of this has been changed to avoid copyright. So there was also a half update, update 3.5, which introduced raid bosses. The first one being Greybeard, and killing him will help you unlock your Bacento V2. And usually with updates, there's a new increase in level capacity. This time it was 650. So update 4 was a relatively smaller update, came with the release of the Sand Fruit. There was also the introduction of the Euro V2 quest, which you pick up from Robot Mega over in Middletown. To be honest, to this day, I still don't know the difference between Yoru V1 and V2. And it's clear back in update 4, the max mastery was at 500 for your weapons. To be honest, guys, I really don't care about any of those. I think the biggest thing that I released in update 4 was the release of code FUD10, which if you redeem it, gives you a whopping 1 single berry. So update 5 once again introduced a brand new fruit, the Gravity Fruit. Along that came a brand new map in the first sea called Fountain City. So I guess about this time is when stocks were introduced, so you couldn't just buy any fruit that you wanted anymore. The Gravity Fruit costed 2,300 Robux. Even the movement back in the day feels so different. Also, very exciting in the new update came a brand new fighting style, the Water Kung Fu. Just looking at IB Main going to buy Water Kung Fu right now, this Jinbei does not have that gold tooth that he does today. Now comes update 6, which actually didn't release a new fruit for once, but revamped a bunch of them, including the light, magma, ice, and the flame. But what this update focused a lot more was actually on the PvP and the cruise aspect. So you know how when you die, you get your PvP automatically disabled for 15 minutes? Well, that was introduced during this update, as well as combat logging. So when you leave during combat, you lose your bounty. A brand new cruise system was introduced during this update, and the new level cap went up to 750 250. Also, interestingly, apparently they added skills to all of the guns. If you thought the guns were trash now, just imagine how they were before update 6. They didn't even have skills. So when update 7 came, nothing noticeable changed other than the addition of the Pawpaw fruit. That was pretty much it. That's everything that they did. So just taking a look here at Axior's Paw Fruit Showcase, I mean, it's pretty devastatingly obvious that it's the exact same fruit. So yeah, nothing really got added in update 7, but that's totally understandable because they were preparing for the biggest update in Blox Fruit's history. Blox Fruit's Update 8 saw the introduction of the second sea. The new islands included Kingdom of Rose, the Green Zone, Dark Arena, Graveyard, and many other small remote islands. On top of all that, we saw some new swords being added, specifically the Sadi, Shusui, and the Wando. The new raid boss, Blackbeard, as well as the factory raid where you can get random fruits. A brand new fighting style was also added, which was the Dragon Breath. But all of those said, most importantly, the biggest addition of all was the Barrier Fruit. Yeah, with the biggest update in Blox Fruit's history, they decided to just drop the Barrier Fruit in there for some reason. And here's what a barrier would have looked like. And here's a video of Axior hosting the first ever Barrier Fruit Showcase. Dragon Breath, there's Axior getting it for the first time. Oh, it was called Dragon Claw? I guess they changed the name for that too. And of course, with a big update such as this, they had to increase the level cap. This time up to level 1000. Now, update 8 was so amazing. Like, how do you follow up on that with update 9? Very easy. You add the Dough Fruit. That's right, your favorite PvP fruit. The Dough was added back in update 9. The original V1, which still looks the same today, but back then was the most powerful fruit you could have obtained. That's how the Dough Fruit used to look like. Honestly, just by looking at it, it would look like the smoke or something. Who would have thought its final form would eventually look like this? But not only that, this update was like the PvP player's dream because they also added the superhuman fighting style. Oh wait, there is more! They also added the true triple katana. Remember when I mentioned the 3 legendary swords earlier? Yeah, now you could combine them to buy the TTK from this green frog looking dude here. The way you obtain a sword doesn't really change, but the skills definitely look way different. There's the Tatsumaki. No offense, like this was probably the best sword at the time. It was the first mythical sword, but damn, it looks like trash compared to how it looks now. Tatsumaki! Come on, jeez! Update 10 introduced another mythical, the Control Fruit. And if we would look at the Control Showcase, then you would notice that once again, nothing has changed over the years. It looks exactly the same. This time, not as hype as the Dough, in my opinion, but again, I wasn't there. I was making YouTube videos on eating fried chicken for a living. Now, with the added Control Fruit, of course, it would only make sense to introduce the Order raid. Now, the Order was really good for leveling back in the day because it would give you 3 levels every time, and when you use double XP, you would get 6 levels every Order raid. Of course, they patched that now, so you can only gain 3 levels, so it's not really worth it anymore. And of course, also came a level cap increase of 1,250. Now, Update 11 was also very iconic because that's when the Fruit Awakenings were introduced along with the Awakening raids. The first 3 fruits to get an Awakening were the Flame, Ice, and the Quake. The Update 11 announcement video was also the first ever video on the Gamer Robot YouTube channel. Here, they demonstrated how you would enter a raid and what the raid would look like to eventually awaken your ability. And if you were observant, you would notice that the max level has now gone up to 1350. So Winlock Toad Over Heaven was the original guide that would ascend you. This was the update where fragments were introduced. Prior to that, they were using those rare artifacts. Those were being used to reset stats and do race rerolls. So update 12 awakened a couple more fruits. This time it was the light as well as the dark. This is an official review from Indra himself. Yeah, I think the light fruit has been revamped probably like 7 different times. There's also update 12 introducing the title system. Also the goal race. Yeah, that was also added during this update. Now, update lucky number 13 was absolutely monumental because it introduced to us the mythical dragon fruits for which billions of people are waiting for a revamp 4 years later. So there was another level cap increase, this time to 1450, and big shout out to Bluxy here doing a showcase on the dragon fruit when it originally dropped. Although once again, it's pointless because it looks exactly the same. So back then, the String Awakening raid was also, look at that, damn. Yeah, the String Awakening was a new introduction back when people used to say Pog and Poggers. All right, Bluxy with the showcase. Eternal White, yep, Heavenly Punishment. Let's take a look. Yeah, it looks the same, except I think now it changes color based on your hotkey. They also introduced the V2 of Dark Step, the Death Step fighting style. Look at that M1 animation. What the hell was that? You used to do a flip back in the day? Rocket Kick, Wind Bullet. Okay, I guess only the M1 has changed. Okay, the Vermilion drill looks different. Oh yeah, it's definitely different. And here's how the M1 looks now. No backflips. So lame. Update 13 was also the introduction of the Christmas event. Basically, you collect a bunch of candies by killing enemies that are the same level as you, like that. And you could trade them for limited time accessories. Elf hat, Santa hat, the sleigh boat. You can also get race rerolls, stat resets, and all that good stuff. But as cool as Update 13 was, it will always be known as the calm before the storm, because little did everybody know at this time, the Update 14 will bring forth the greatest introduction in Blox Fruit's history. I'm talking about my channel. Yeah, Update 14 was when your boy started playing Blox Fruits for the first time ever. Everything's been uphill for Blox Fruit since then. I think when I started playing Blox Fruits Update 14, they were averaging like 50k players. Now, all thanks to me, and I take full responsibility, at 2:30 a.m. in the morning, we got 400,000 active players online. I'm not saying I want full ownership of the game, but I am waiting for a pretty big check from Indra and my game. Now, let's talk about the less important things in Update 14. So no new fruits were added, but there is the brand new cyborg race. Bro, it looks so much better. You even get like shoulder armor and stuff that come with it. Oh my God, Blox Fruits, what did you do? So there's also the introduction of Sharkman Karate, 12 water palms. Yeah, there you go. Thunder God got introduced in the same update as MeEnyu. Honestly, the revamped Rumble V2 definitely looks a lot better. Now, arguably, the second biggest introduction during Update 14 was the implementation of the Blox Fruit dealer cousin, because surprise, surprise, up until this point, there was no scam fruit cousin that you could get scammed from. This made it so much easier for players to obtain fruits because they could roll for a new one every 2 hours. Now, of course, because I came onto the scene, the Blox Fruit owners decided they had to increase the quality of their game. And that's why for Update 15, they went completely crazy. I mean, just look at this. Yeah, Update 15 brought forth the third sea that we all know and love today. And with that came 5 brand new islands at the time: the Floating Turtle, Hydra Island, Port Town, Great Tree, and Castle on the Sea. Not only that, they dropped not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, 7 brand new fruits. Just imagine Blox Fruits dropping 7 fruits in an update today. It will blow up the internet. So these are the fruits, the most noticeable one being the Venom, of course, still very powerful to this day. Second most notable is the Kilo, which no longer exists, along with the Door fruit, which has been changed to the Portal. So here's what those 7 fruits would have looked like in the game. So we got the Kilo, the Spin, the Falcon, Love, Diamond, Door, and of course the Venom. They also added 2 brand new fruit awakenings, the Magma fruit, and it was the first time we got introduced to the Titan shift with a Buddha. Yeah, the Titan shift was definitely epic back in the day. The level cap went from 1525 now up to 2000. We also had the brand new Electric Claw fighting style, the RIP Indra raid boss, just too much stuff for me to even talk about in this one short segment. Another big notable addition they added into the game was the fruit storage system, where you're finally able to store the fruits that you spin for. Back in the day, you either have to just eat it on the spot or drop it. And with that came the trading system. This was the first ever reveal of the trading system, and they had put the trade table over here at Dock 2. That would have been such a sicker place instead of the cafe, man. You get a nice view of the ocean while you're scanning noobs with your trades. Come on, guys. Man, while everybody was busy trading from a bomb up to a Venom, your boy was going from a Venom down to a bomb. And there's me making my final trade down from the spike to getting the bomb fruit. Honestly, guys, so much stuff happened during Update 15. Like, I could talk about it all day. It completely changed the way Blox Fruits is. But for now, we gotta move on to Update 16, the Halloween event. Boo! So 2 new fruits were introduced in Update 16. We have the Shadow as well as the Revive, as it was called at the time. These are the 2 final fruits that were added before the models received like a complete revamp. So yeah, take one last good look at them. The Shadow fruit at the time was actually very strong. It was great for combos. And the Revive fruit was pretty cool because it gave you a chance at a second life. When you died, it turned into a skeleton. So the level cap has been increased to 2100, and a new island was added called the Haunted Castle, where you could defeat a raid boss that drops you another mythical sword called the Hollow Sight. There was also the addition of the Dragon Talon fighting style. That was the first time the world was introduced to Ammon Uzoth as an NPC. But the most notable thing back then was the Halloween event, where you can collect bones from NPCs and use them at the Death King to spin for random surprises. So yeah, my boy Joe and I basically spent hours collecting bones and just spun for like 100 fruits at the same time. It was pretty fun. But of course, all good things have to end. After Update 16 came the infamous Update 17, which was divided divided into multiple parts. Let's start with part 1. So this update, they added a new fruit, the soul fruit, which was based off of Big Mom, of course, where you could summon a bunch of homies. You had the soul meter, and the model of the soul fruit was the first time the fruits kind of looked a little different. Yeah, check it out. It had like sunglasses and everything. It was a pretty dope design. And lastly, they awakened the sand fruit. All right, that sand raid was actually insanely difficult, but totally worth it. I did it with official newbie on stream, and it was an absolute blast. Now, on to update 17 part 2, where they did not add any new fruits, but they did increase the level cap to 2300. They did introduce the first ever special raid for the Phoenix Awakening. You actually first need to get your Phoenix to 400 mastery. Get on over to Whole Cake to talk to this sick zombie looking dude before he'll finally sell you the raid chip for 1000 fragments. But I would say the single greatest thing to happen in this update was actually the release of your boy's special custom title, Not Come Up Forever. Honestly, it's a blessing and a curse. Now I can't join any public servers without people just spamming me for the title. But little do we know, update 17 part 3 was about to bring us the greatest fruit awakening of all time, the Dough Awakening. So update 17 part 3, because it took so damn long to release, the hype was absolutely insurmountable and the YouTube videos just started popping off like crazy. The fruits got a completely new look, no longer the cubes that we knew them to be, and they revamped all of the skills too, so nothing ever looked the same. Now comes update 17 part 4. This update saw the introduction of not only the Blizzard fruit, but very importantly, they changed the Door fruit to now being called the Portal. The level cap got increased to 2450. Now let's talk about update 18. This is known as the official release of the Race Awakenings, or else known as the V4. The Gamer Robot channel posted an official tutorial on how you're supposed to be unlocking Race V4, and everybody just completely lost their minds, sailed over to the sea like they were looking for the freaking One Piece. And yeah, you caught me. I completely milked that update. I made one video on every single Race Awakening. So update 19 was a relatively smaller one. They didn't drop a new fruit, but they completely revamped the love and changed the string to the spider. Again, I guess trying to avoid copyright. So we actually streamed this update with Newbie, Mr. B, and also Creecraft. Got to check out the revamped love fruit, the introduction of Besto Friendo, and this was the introduction of the first and also apparently last Valentine's event where you're able to kill NPCs. This time it's hearts, and you can use those hearts to trade for some items. One of them was actually an exclusive hockey color, which is pretty dope. And after that, once again, nothing happened until 8 months later when update 20 finally dropped. It was a big update though. Like, I'm not even gonna cap. I think the biggest introduction in that update was, of course, the mythical Zoan Mammoth. They also added the sound fruit and also changed the kilo fruit to the rocket, which is still the greatest sin the Blox fruit owners have ever committed. The fruits once again received a totally new look just a couple of updates later to the ones that we know and love today. And the level cap once again got increased to 2500. The brand new island was added, which was called the Tiki Outpost, which included some sea events like the Terror Shark and the Leviathan that we all know and love. And with the sea events drops, you can now unlock a brand new fighting style, the Sanguine Art. There was the new sword, the Shark Anchor, which is very dope. Also, what really flew under the radar was they reworked every single sword skill. Here's an example of the before for the triple katana. Here's an example now. Let's take a look at the Dark Blade. This is what the Dark Blade looked like. 1000 slashes, and of course the Dark Air Slash. Now take a look at this glow up. Look at this thing. Good lord. Dark Air Slash, you can now hold down. Come on now. They also added a brand new feature with scrolls that you can use to enchant and upgrade your swords and guns. So you know me, who is very financially irresponsible. I had to go ahead and spend over $1,000 enchanting every single sword in the game. So update 21 came really quickly after update 20, and really not much changed other than the revive got changed to the ghost, and also they reworked the combat fighting style, which was pretty cool. They also introduced the Halloween event where the cursed chest will spawn around the map every couple of minutes. That'll give you a bunch of bones. So once again, we spent a ton of bones to buy a bunch of fruits. I think the best fruit I got out of spending like 1,000,000 bones was the Mammoth. Honestly, not bad, because the Mammoth at the time was still brand new as a mythical. My luck finally turned around. We're getting very close to present date now with update 22, which introduced the brand new mythical Kitsune fruit. So when the Kitsune finally released, your boy broke the world record to being the first one to unlock all the skills, I think in just under 8 minutes. A new sea event was introduced, which is called the Kitsune Shrine, which will spawn in Zone 6 when the full moon appears. And basically, you collect a bunch of these blue embers and trade them over at the shrine. I mean, you guys get the deal. Now, moving on to the update we're currently on, which is infamously known as Winter Update Part 1. So they literally dropped 2 back-to-back updates with the Kitsune and now the T-Rex fruit. And the T-Rex fruit was pretty cool, but it was a little bit less hype compared to the Mammoth as well as the Kitsune. So what was probably more hype was they once again brought back those presents at North Pole for the Christmas event. And also, very low-key, they added a brand new subclass system where there's currently only one subclass and you can become a shipwright. Basically, you earn valor as you complete sea events, and becoming a shipwright will allow you to fix boats. And once again, as I'm recording this, it's currently been 6 months since the last update dropped. We do have a couple of sneak peeks and leaks of what the next update is gonna be, so let's take a look right here. First of all, everybody and their grandmas know that the dragon fruit is getting a total rework. This was posted 6 months ago by RIP Indra. Looking like the dragon move literally takes up the whole map, like I said. So once again, there's another showcase, probably the Z or the C move rework on the dragon. This is what the new model of the dragon fruit is going to look like, in case y'all were curious. Here, he deliberately showed the actual name of the skills now. So Zeolus did post a quick preview of the new island that is coming. Looks like a volcanic island that erupts. That is the most detailed preview we've gotten in 6 months. And it was a total of 4.37 seconds. But lucky for us, we don't need the official Blox Fruits admins to leak things to us. Some people have taken it upon themselves to find some leaks. So we got a pretty good preview of the Divine Art fighting style skills that are supposed to be dropping in the next update. It freezes time, bro. Here's a screenshot posted on Shafi's Twitter, who is the official VFX guy for Blox Fruits. And just one last thing quickly, in one of Uzat's recent videos, he sneaked the dinosaur bones that are in his inventory. Probably has something to do with that volcano island. One thing is for sure though, when update 24 drops, Blox Fruits is once again going to break the Roblox servers and the internet. And guys, something tells me we wouldn't have to wait much longer. Comment down below if you're also hyped. And guys, for the final reveal, my favorite Blox Fruits update was, drumroll, update 27. Yeah, my future site is telling me that's gonna be the best update.